Are you the version of yourself who has your desire? If you're not, if the answer is like no, what stands in between you and that version of yourself? Is it habits? Is it identities? Is it limiting beliefs or fears? Is it resistance? Look into what you think is standing in between you and that version of yourself and get to work on that. Hello gorgeous souls, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another one of my videos today. You'll have to excuse me, I'm currently recovering from the nasty flu that's been going around, so I do not sound my most healthy self today. But if you want to learn manifestation that works fast, you are here for the right video. So in today's video, I want to cover how we can make our manifestation speed up, tools and practices that do speed up that process for us, and what energy we need to be in to really create that magnetism in our life to speed up the manifestation process. But if you're new here to my channel, then welcome. My name is Emma. I'm an award-winning life coach, 3 times best-selling manifestation author, law of attraction YouTuber here on my channel, and I'm the host of the #1 spirituality podcast on iTunes, Spiritual Queen's Badass Podcast. And here on my channel, I cover all things law of attraction, manifestation, spirituality, and self-help. So not only do I really hope you're going to enjoy this video, but the abundance of videos here on my channel over the last 10 years. So the ultimate question in manifestation: can we speed our desires up? What tools, what practices speed up that process and magnetize our desires so much quicker? So this is a fantastic question and something that I have loved to explore and work with over the years, over my 9 years of manifesting. And I feel like the one part of this that has been solid and consistent in my experimenting with this has been my energy, has been how I have felt and how I have shown up, and that is what has delivered the results. I don't feel it's necessarily been a particular practice. I don't necessarily feel like it's been a particular thing, although I'm going to share my particular practices that I do feel do speed up the process with you. But I do feel that it is the person's energy and the frequency and the embodiment that they are in that does speed up that process. So let's talk about divine timing. In my new book, Aligned Abundance, I have a whole chapter on this and how we can speed up time and work with time in our favor. So as we know, time actually doesn't exist, or maybe you don't know that, but in our world, in Earth, we experience time, we experience delays, we experience, what we see as a 24-hour clock, time. Whereas in the universe, there is no such thing as time. It's only us here on Earth who experience the constraints and blocks of time and delays. So whilst we feel we are waiting for something, actually we are never waiting for anything. There is no such divine timing that stipulates that you cannot receive something until February the 2nd, 2025 at 11 a.m., right? There's no stipulation in that sense. What divine timing is alignment. And it is the alignment process with you and your manifestation. So when you hit that alignment, there is nothing in this world that can stop that from manifesting to you. So there can definitely be seasons in our life where there are better times to receive things, where we can show up as our best self and we can really align and receive that in the way that we intended to receive that desire and fully enjoy it. So essentially, if you feel like you're waiting for divine timing to come and bless you and bring your desire into your life, there is no divine timing in that sense. There is only alignment. So you're not in the waiting room of life. There is no waiting room of life. You are always aligning with or further from your desire, for example. So we want to be aligning to the reality that we want to experience, to the desires and reality that we want to call into our life. So I want you to shift that focus away from divine timing, or there's a right timing, into, am I the version of myself who has this desire? Am I the energy and frequency of that version of myself who has that? And this is why I said this was a huge shift for me in my manifesting process, because when I took it away from, I have to wait for this divine timing, I'm sitting back, relaxing in this waiting room of life, into, oh, I'm not the version of myself who has this desire. I'm going to work on my alignment process into aligning into the energy and frequency of this version who has this through beliefs, through identities, through vibrational work. That is when the magic happened. That's when things supercharged, sped up, and got so much quicker. So do not get stuck in the waiting room of life. You are not waiting for a bus. You are not waiting for an appointment. You are not waiting. We all have a queue here in the UK, but we're not waiting for anything. You need to get up out of the waiting room of life, Take aligned and inspired action and align with the version of you who is experiencing what you want to experience. So the first step to this is definitely raising your vibration. It's definitely looking at your energy, your frequency. Are you the version of yourself who has your desire? If you're not, if the answer is like no, what stands in between you and that version of yourself? Is it habits? Is it identities? Is it limiting beliefs or fears? Is it resistance? Look into what you think is standing in between you and that version of yourself and get to work on that. And I feel like time does just work differently now. If you think back to pre-2020, I feel like time just has sped up and works so differently now. But we all have 86,400 seconds in a day, to be precise. So what are you doing with your 86,400 seconds? We all have that time in a day. So I want to challenge you to think about how you can spend that time. Look at how you're spending your time. Can you change things and create change with that time to set yourself up for success where you can speed your manifestations up? But a great way to see time speed up for yourself and with your manifestations is to do some tests with the universe to put this into motion. So we all have those things in life that we can manifest like that, and those things that sometimes take a little bit longer. So I want you to test your time resistance. So you could say to the universe, right, within the next hour, I want to manifest a free coffee, a free tea, whatever. Pick something small, pick something that would seem kind of easier to you, more attainable, and set a time frame that feels aligned to you. It could be an hour, 24 hours, 2 days, whatever. Trust the timing that comes to you that you want to set for that, and see how it works, see how it flows. What flows in that time frame? Are you someone who can work with time frames really easily and detach and feel at ease and receive those abundances? Or are you someone who will control, hold on to, not attach, and then be watching the clock, waiting for that desire to happen? If you are one of those people, like myself, then maybe setting time frames isn't the best kind of manifesting for you. I know for myself it's definitely not, because I will control it. But when it's something smaller like a free coffee or a bunch of flowers, you're more likely to forget about it. You're more likely to carry on with your day. And I will kind of set an expansive time frame of 24 hours because that just feels expansive and good to me. So then when it does come in and when I do receive that, I can then test time and say, right, well, those kinds of manifestations flow really easily and I can really feel time speeding up and magnetizing that into my life. Whereas bigger desires or desires that focus on love or money or, a certain topic may feel harder for you to magnetize in that time frame. So there you can see where there's some resistance and some work that needs to be done there. So get testing time. If you want to speed up your manifestations, testing how time works with you, what you respond to, and what kind of creates more resistance or blocks is going to be the key of where the work needs to be done for you. And then you can also see how time really doesn't exist when you do these practices and turn up your magnetism, raise your vibration, and set these little tests with the universe. But what are my favorite practices to do to speed up time? Now, I feel like there are certain practices I do every single month that really do speed up my manifestations for me. But these practices don't necessarily take up the most time, which is ironic, right? That the practices I probably spend the least amount of time on manifest things faster than the things that I probably spend more intentional time on. So with speeding up your manifestations, it's not necessarily about how many practices you can do or how long it takes. This is perfect proof of that. For me, it's more about the energy. It's about the frequency of how I feel, how the practice feels, and how it can work in my life to create that consistency. So 2 things that really do speed up my manifestations are subliminals and my cinnamon ritual that I do each month on the first of the month for money manifesting. I love this cinnamon ritual. I've been doing it for over a year, well, nearly 2 years now. And it is just absolutely sped up my money manifestations every single month. And it takes about 2 minutes out of my day on the first of every month to get a little trinket dish, put a coin in there, sprinkle it with ground cinnamon, so like powder. And then I stand outside my front door facing inwards, obviously with the door open. So I'm like on my doorstep facing inwards. And I simply just say a little money mantra or like, thank you universe for all the money that's going to come my way this month, or all the money that I have and all the money that will come my way. And I blow the cinnamon into my front door. Into my front entrance, not the door, the entrance. So that's all I do. And that practice takes me 2 minutes, but without a shadow of a doubt, I know is up leveling and speeding up my money manifestations. So I didn't spend hours hours writing out money intentions. I didn't spend hours doing those things. And I really see in my life personally that those kinds of exercises and practices that are fun, enjoyable, but actually don't take up the most amount of time seem to speed things up for me rather than long, lengthy practices and meditations and writing things down. The second one is subliminals. So I have a whole playlist of free subliminals here on my YouTube channel that you can go and work with for things like money manifestation, abundance as a whole, love, health, all kinds of things mindset related. And the reason why I think subliminals work so well for me in my life is because they are just something that I put on in the background while I work, while I'm journaling, while I'm not doing much, maybe cleaning or cooking or something. So they're such a low time commitment for me because they are just in the background of what I'm doing anyway. So although it's not a huge time commitment for me, I see huge benefits in my life, especially money subliminals. Again, I think that at the cinnamon, it just speeds up so much for me. So you can see that money, for example, there is least resistance there for me. So that's why it's able to speed up. Whereas if I had resistance around that, it probably would feel a little bit more blocked, or it would take longer to, come into my life. So subliminals and that cinnamon ritual are the two things I know absolutely speed up my manifesting practices. And lastly is the core energy of your desire. Now, the reason why the core energy of your desire speeds, and working with this speeds up your manifestations, is because you're getting to the core true essence of your manifestation, away from your expectations, away from your projections, and away from the humanness that we project onto our desires, control, expectations, beliefs, things like that. So when we work with the core energy of our desire, again, I've done it with this house, I did it with my fiance, it speeds up the process so much quicker because you're aligning and connecting to the true essence of your desire, moving any resistance, any blocks out of the way to magnetize it to you. So those three practices are my absolute go-tos for speeding up manifestation, speeding up time, and allowing those things into my life so much quicker. But overall, you're gonna have to find those things that do allow time to speed up for you, to feel that magnetism in your life for yourself. You may wanna try the things that I've suggested, and I'll absolutely link them down below for you. I've got a meditation here on my channel which explains what the core energy is and how to tap into it and connect with it. So there are lots of things that you can do. So I want you to try those practices, but equally try the things that speed up your desires, that raise your vibration, get you into alignment, and turn up your magnetism. Because think of yourself like a magnet. What you are attracting in determines the speed of what you are calling into your life. So being able to turn up that magnetism and become in alignment with your desires, there is no reason in this world why it wouldn't manifest. There is no such thing as time, remember that. So you can speed that process up if it's for the highest good of all, and finding those tools and rituals and practices that do create that effortlessness for you. And that magnetism is so important because, like me with those things I've suggested, they are my go-tos now. That is what I focus on. So I don't overcomplicate the process. I don't overcomplicate what I do. And I feel like that really does speed things up for me when I don't overcomplicate things. So remember, it's what makes you your most magnetic self that enables you to attract what you want into your life. So if you want to speed up your manifestations, get magnetic, raise your vibration, and find those effortless tools that are going to allow you to really magnetize what you want into your life. But thank you so much, gorgeous souls, for watching. I appreciate all your views and likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here, because I would love to see you again soon. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comments box down below, because I reply to them all. And don't forget, you can also join my free Law of Attraction support group over on Facebook, where you can join myself and other like-minded souls, where we talk all things Law of Attraction and spirituality. I hope you have an incredible week, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you all in my next video, which will be next week. Lots of love.